Hello there, my name is Luke and I am one of the teacher naturalists at the Great Smoky Mountain Institute at Tremont, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to draw a salamander. Now salamanders, their body is typically within this general shape and form no matter what the species. There are of course outliers, but most of them follow this general body plan. The head, the long, elongated, smooth body, the 4 limbs, typically 5 toes on the back and 4 on the front, and then a long, slender tail, which can often be rather rounded or flattened as it goes back. The differences between them helps you to identify the over 30 species of salamander found in the Great Smoky Mountains, making it the most plentiful place for salamanders in the entire world. This model I have here, it looks somewhere between a mole salamander and a black chin red salamander, but it'll serve our purposes today. If you have a model at home or you want to follow along with this one, you can also find photos online or in books, but it's great to practice before you go out into the park or into your own yard or somewhere nearby to look for salamanders, because when you do find them, they're often very quick moving and they like to try to find hiding spots once they know you're around. So it's good to have practice drawing them beforehand so that you have a sense of what they look like when you want to draw them out in the wild. We're going to start with a pencil and just be nice and light with the marks that we make on the paper. We want to make general shapes and not go into our details too quickly. So we want to just get this egg shape for the head. And then smoothly transition that into the neck and down into the shape of the body. Just a nice elongated oval. Now we're going to go back and draw those grooves, those costal grooves on the sides of the body in just a little bit. But for now, let's just try to get the general shape. See, it's kind of wide, it bends. We'll bring these limbs in here. Think rounded edges for salamanders. They have very smooth skin, often moist to the touch. They do not have scales like lizards, who look very similar in the body plan, but they have scales, of course, on lizards and reptiles. Salamanders are in the amphibian family, so no scales, very smooth, rounded edges on their skin. These forelegs with the 4 toes. The toes on my model are a little bit wide. Typically, their toes are longer and slender, but they always have those very nice rounded edges on the fronts of them. So try to get that in your drawing. Move on to these back legs. My model here has almost equal sized back legs to the front legs. Some species, the back legs will be very wide and large, and the front legs will be much smaller. Helps you tell them apart from other species. Let's get these toes in here. This odd angle to their legs. When you start to look for salamanders, you realize that their legs seem to be able to move in almost any direction. Very flexible, and the only vertebrate, so animal with a backbone, that is able to lose a limb and grow it back. That is the salamanders. They are the only ones who can do that. It's quite fascinating. Little creatures. And we have them all over the Smoky Mountains. Okay, let's move on to this tail. As you can see, it starts pretty wide near the base of the legs, and then it's going to curve and it's going to taper as it does. So it's going to get thinner, and then for a little while it's going to stay about the same thickness through this section, this midsection of the tail. And then it's going to start to taper out to a point down here. So you see I start with a nice light line And then as I feel more confident in where the line is, I might push down harder with my pencil to get a more defined shape and get a better sense of where things are. Okay, let's move on to those costal grooves. My friend here has about 6 of them on either side of the body. Try and spread those out evenly. They tend to get a little bunched up when the body is curved, as you can kind of see here. See the indentation where these grooves come up the sides. Often counting the grooves between the legs is another way to help you identify different species in the park. Okay, so on this side, the body is a little bit more stretched out. Might make the grooves a little bit wider. You can see I'm following that original shape that I made earlier, kind of loosely, and then finding my way along. Okay, looks like I put one too many grooves in here. Let's take some of these out. Try and stretch some of these. Okay, so these ones on this side are going to be a little bit longer with the direction that the salamander's body is in. Okay, let's define these legs a little bit more up here. And then move in to find the eyes. So the eyes protrude from the head, very much like the eyes of a frog or a toad. They're close relatives. Get that shape of the eye socket around there. And then we can darken in the eyes and leave a little white spot for that reflection of light on their eyes. Often, if you look closely, they have eyes that look similar to goat's eyes, kind of that horizontal pupil. I'm going to sketch one out here real quick for you. So the pupil is horizontal like this. And then it's often surrounded by yellows and golds. Eye socket around there. But just a quick note about their fascinating eyes. Okay. I feel like rounding the front of a salamander's face is one of the trickiest parts. Some of them have very rounded snouts, others are longer or a little more pointed. So that just comes with practice. And a smooth touch. Okay, so we've got the general shape. We can add the shadow that the light is causing on this side of the body. And we can see the highlight. And then we can also add these spots. So let's move through here. Add that shadow. And then you'll notice the spots, they tend to be larger around the spine. So down the middle of the body. From about the base of the head, tip of the spine, down midway through the tail, and then they taper off, and they get a lot smaller around the edges of the body. So around the sides here, you tend to see more small dots. I apologize, you tend to see more small dots, and then you see the larger splotches in the middle. So you don't need to get too hung up on exactly where they are in relation to your photo. Just notice the general pattern and try to loosely create a similar pattern yourself on your drawing. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to jump ahead in the video so you can see the end result. So don't forget, add your spots down the middle, add your lighter spots on the legs, along the sides and across the front of the face, and then add that shadow along the sides of the body over here where it's much darker. And then we can also see there's a little shadow on the side of the body because we do have a 3-dimensional model, right? So the light is being blocked from part of our model. Thank you so much for following along. I'll see you in just a few moments. Okay, welcome back. You can see I've finished with my spots, and I've added some shading across the side of the body. Looks like we could use a little bit more. Let's get some on the side of the head there as well. But yeah, this has been how to draw a salamander. And if you want to follow along with more of our videos, be sure to follow Tremont on whatever social media is your favorite. Don't forget to sign your drawing. And maybe next time we can do some watercolor or add some color to our drawings. We'll see what we come up with next. If you have ideas or questions, leave them in the comments below for us. Otherwise, thank you all so much for joining us, and have a wonderful day.